If we do nothing else well this show, that open rocks. I love how we start the show. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. For the better part of the last 14 years, I was doing an overnight show that I would call the Hump Show. So I kind of feel like I've blended in with most of the rest of the United States of America now that I can call it Hump Day here on All In with Amy Lawrence. Good morning to you. Or if it's afternoon, it's late night, whenever you choose to watch and listen to the show, we are glad to have you. But I'll be honest, this morning was a challenge for a bunch of reasons. So I had a really wicked, weird dream that woke me up in the middle of the night. It's pretty standard, right? For human beings, we have very active subconsciouses, subconsciouses, subconscious. Good start, Aim. Good start. I have a very active subconscious. I'm not the only person in the world who has a very active subconscious. And so I had this really vivid dream, and I could tell you what it was about, but I don't think I want to. It was wicked, it was weird, and it was vivid, and it involves Sophie Cunningham. It was actually scary. And this is what happens to me when I get immersed in a show or when I'm thinking constantly about topics and the shows that I'm doing. During football season, I dream about football. When I'm doing basketball play-by-play on a regular basis, I dream about basketball. No joke. And so I'm not surprised that it featured an athlete that not only did we talk about on the show Tuesday, but I've had some conversations with people about, and it was part of just our whole question of how you react when athletes use their platforms for politics or social issues. And so it happened to be one that was wicked and just odd and vivid. And so it woke me up, but I couldn't get back to sleep for quite a while. And so that was one issue. And then had the chance to appear on another show on 365 Sports, Tom Barfield, earlier before jumping on our own live YouTube stream. That kind of threw me off and out of my routine a little bit, though it's really cool to be invited to other shows here on the network. And just one of those mornings where I'm not feeling comfortable in my own skin. So if I say something odd or a little bit goofy today, you can just nod and smile and, oh, that's the Amy that we know and love. But yes, good morning to you. Glad to have you with us. We have a day in which we are going to attempt yet another big step, another new feature here on the show. And honestly, it's all new this week. And as much as I would love it to be perfect from the start, I know that's not realistic and that's not how we build. So we're trying to build and establish a foundation. And sometimes, many times, especially at the beginning of a new project, that means you're working out kinks. And there are definitely kinks to work out. And so today, we're going to attempt to revive and renew and regurgitate. I don't like that word because that doesn't fit. We're going to resurrect Ask Amy Anything, which is a feature that I know many of you enjoyed over the past 13 years. In fact, not only did we do the audio version of it on my national radio show, but we had special video versions of it on a previous YouTube channel. So I really enjoy the fact that so many of you are curious, though I try to warn you that curiosity killed El Gato. So we'll allow you to send in your questions. Now, this is Zach's first time going through Ask Amy Anything, and he knows where to look, not only on our Facebook page, also on social media, the other social media sites, including Twix, which is at A-Law Radio. And I actually have seen this. We've had increased traffic to our various social media sites. So I know Zach will scroll the different ways that you can find us on social. If you look there on the it's called a lower third, the bottom, the scroll there at the bottom. That is not me. I wish that I could just start typing and something fun would appear, but this was pre-loaded and pre-planned. So those are the various ways that you can find us on social media. And even though it's not just me, it's I'm very thankful for this. It's a collaborative effort with a couple of other people in the office. But I am still running the Facebook page and my own Twix account. So you can find me there. And the feedback's been great about the show. Still have questions. Well, here's your chance to ask questions. So send your questions for Ask Amy Anything. We'll do it next hour. So second hour of the show, about an hour and 15 minutes from now, but that gives you the chance to send your questions. Now, the other option, and we saw a lot of traffic on Tuesday's show, the comments while you're listening or watching the show live here on YouTube, you can send your questions. So as we were talking about athletes and public figures and celebrities using their platforms for good or for evil, depending upon your perspective, we saw dozens of comments popping up over on the comments section. So you can do that on YouTube. And Zach will see those. And sometimes I have a chance to see them during a break, but not always. So good morning to Rob, who's joining us live right now. So there are a variety of ways that you can submit your questions. Zach said to me this morning, well, what types of questions would you like to stay away from? So yes, Ask Amy Anything comes with the caveat. It's Ask Amy Anything, sort of. We don't want, of course, inappropriate questions. And there are some personal parts of my life that are off limits. For instance, and people have mentioned this, why isn't there a photo of your husband, you and your husband, on the shelf behind you? Well, my husband and I have chosen that we will keep his photo and his actual name off of social media because we like our privacy. And it's not just our privacy, it's the privacy of our family and his big family that I married into. And so, no, you're not going to see a picture of Bob, which is not his actual name. I'm trying to decide if I would have married a guy named Bob. Just kidding. I'm just totally kidding. Anyway, so yeah, there are some aspects of personal life that I won't be talking about or revealing, but I do like to share fun stories and to connect with you and relate with you in other ways that don't involve me telling you where I live, what address I maintain as my home, and what my husband looks like. His choice too, because he would prefer not to be a public figure. That's my choice, not his. And actually, it is sort of funny because I get requests from his family on various social media apps. And sometimes they will post pictures of us and they forget. So his mom gets excited about sharing photos. And I feel bad sometimes when I have to tell her, oh, can you please take that one down? So we just try not to have a social media presence that crosses over. Instead, we each kind of maintain our own. So some stuff is off limits, but you know how this works if you've seen it before. I'm an open book about a lot of areas of my life, or just in general about experiences, food, travel, kiddos, even as my husband and I are waiting parents in the adoption process. We get a lot of questions about that too. So Ask Amy Anything, revived, renewed, oft imitated, never duplicated, because not everybody's got the cool alliteration. Ask Amy Anything. We'll do that next hour here on All In with Amy Lawrence. Now, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about first before we even jump into sports, though. I'm pretty jazzed up about seeing Micah Parsons in front of a microphone at Packers training camp. He's one of my favorite athletes to talk about because he is unique. There's no one quite like Micah Parsons out there. So Micah Parsons talking about his health and recovering from the torn ACL. And then in addition, Tarek Skubal making his debut in a Dodgers uniform on Tuesday. Also, when we get to the time of the year where we start to talk about which quarterback is starting, I know it's preseason, sometimes fake football. It maybe resembles real football for 2 or 3 series, and then it reverts back to fake football. And I will never, this is against my religion, to give you the score of a preseason game. I don't care if it's spring training, baseball, preseason, football, or basketball. It's an exhibition, so the scores do not matter. But when we start to talk about a quarterback who will start this game, or a quarterback who's getting first team reps, or hey, this guy's getting more action in the offense, or this guy's lining up on defense more consistently. It's kind of fun because you know then that the rosters are beginning to take shape and guys are getting opportunities to prove themselves. So, little QB news, which is my favorite. I have no idea why, but we're obsessed with quarterbacks in the United States of America. And so there's always QB news. There's always some type of a quarterback competition that's going on. And we're getting to that time of the year. Thursday is the first preseason game. So the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. And do you know, between pro football, initially the preseason, and then college football on into September and beyond, to infinity and beyond, we will not have another Thursday without football until 2027. So it starts this week. It starts this Thursday. We will have football to keep us company. Primetime Thursdays from now until February. The next 6 months, really, were consumed. So a lot to talk about always. I mean, sports never stop. But the big deal right now is to get your questions in for Ask Amy Anything. More good mornings. This one coming from Chicago. Good morning from New York. I love it. You can give us your actual name on your social media or on the YouTube comments, or you don't have to. The cool thing about video, one change that I'm learning to embrace, is that I don't have to explain everything to you. I don't have to describe everything to you because you all can see some of this stuff on the screen. Like yesterday, when we had our first show question, it was a banner on top of the video. And that's kind of neat. Also, when we have guests, I don't have to reset and remind you who they are and what voice you're listening to because you can see them. So there are conveniences that come with being part of a video stream, but also this is kind of cute. I don't think it's frustrating. I just feel bad that maybe I haven't done the best job describing. I'm still getting people every now and then who ask me, where can I find you on radio? Or I looked for your show. I couldn't find your show on radio the last couple of days. Yeah, that's a change for me too. It is. And I certainly understand that if it's not part of your regular routine, watching YouTube or listening to a podcast after the fact, that it can be an adjustment. It's weird, right? Because it lives on the internet as opposed to the terrestrial radio or TV too. I guess you could throw that in there. And so it's not just an adjustment for you, but it's also a big change for me. But I do know that in 2026, digital content available on demand is the most convenient, and also is a space that's growing exponentially. And I do tease my students sometimes about the challenge of standing out in what is a very crowded market, in this case, the internet. And here I am stepping into it with both feet and do the hokey pokey, put your whole self in. Oh, kind of all in with Amy Lawrence. And I understand that I have to stand out because if I go on social media first thing in the morning, I see all of the other promotions and previews and videos from dozens of other shows. And that's just the people that I follow in the sports industry. So I get it. There's a lot that you can consume, a lot that vies for your attention in the digital space. And so I am honored that you would listen, watch. Sorry, I'm still getting used to that. I am honored that you would take time to tune in here and that you would watch this show, whether it's live or after the fact, because I know that we've got to do our job at being unconventional and atypical and bold and creative and colorful. And also, we want to connect with you so that you daily miss the companionship when you don't have it. So it's a challenge for me too. Now, one of the things, and producer Zach, if you want to hop on, so I have the answers. I don't need it to be super technical because I won't understand it anyway. But there is going to be a time very soon when full show is available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. So my husband and
Yes.
I went to Apple and Spotify this morning and we didn't see it. So and I've gotten a few comments from people that they've tried to find it on Apple and couldn't find it. So what's the status of
We
our podcast?
we are working on it. I am dealing with the company that helps us like mitigate that and sets up the RSS feeds
Ooh,
and all that
good
to add more.
word,
Yeah, thank you.
mitigate.
And I thought that they were gonna like we were gonna have it all knocked out tomorrow or yesterday, but obviously that wasn't the case. So I'm working on it, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, end of the day today. That's the goal.
Okay, so we will keep you updated. But just as we are stepping into a new space, there are kinks to work out for our show here. Also, we're establishing ourselves with the various podcast platforms, but that does include Spotify and Apple, which I know I'm not an Apple girl. I have no Apple product. Oh, no, wait. I have an iPod. Actually, one of these
Uh,
days, I'll bring my little
wait,
iPod
wait,
on.
wait, wait. Like the
It's an
old.
iPod Nano. Oh my gosh, you remember the little ones
Is
that
that
you
the
could
thing?
carry?
Yes.
Yes, it's a little rectangle. It's probably not even 4 inches tall, and it fits so easily in my hand. And it's orange because that's my favorite color. And it was given to me as a gift by my brother's family going back probably 15 years ago, if not
Oh,
longer. Yeah, and so
did
it's
it have your name
hysterical.
etched on the back of it?
No, it doesn't, but
Uh,
it's not internet capable. And so I love the fact that I have thousands of songs stored on it and I can plug it into my car or I can run with it. But yeah, when I
mhm.
say iPod Nano, that's the only Apple product I have. My husband has an iPhone and most of my family members have iPhones, but I'm a Galaxy girl, so I've got an Android.
All right. Well, I get it. As somebody who used to be on that boat, but then has now been like, I guess converted. I don't know
Converted.
how to. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I still use a PC, but everything else, like my phone, my tablets,
Ah.
all that is.
So
But
we can't FaceTime. I can't FaceTime.
well, I have to just go through like the Google app on my phone to make it work.
Yes.
Because yeah, but there's a way. But yeah,
Okay, so Apple, Spotify, and
and
then
anywhere else you can find your podcast. That's the
okay.
beauty of this is unless it is something just very niche that you and maybe three other people use, it should be it should be available wherever you get your podcast. Like that's
But
the beauty of the program we use is that it. I'm going to use it again just because it's such a great word. It mitigates it out
and it
everywhere.
disseminates it to
Yes.
all your
Ooh, that's
favorite
a good one.
platforms
Yep.
too. Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that we want to establish the YouTube channel as the go-to spot so that you can come here to get either the full broadcast. Zach works after the show and he cuts up different chunks of the show. So yesterday we had the great John Morris on from Baylor, the associate AD of broadcasting and the voice of the Baylor Bears, but mostly now a new friend who helped me find this new gig. We had John Morris on. And so we cut up, well, Zach, by we, I mean Zach. Zach cut up the video chunk of just the conversation with John and we threw it up on YouTube. We've got shorts. Oh, and I'm sure that if you take the time to go to the YouTube channel, you'll seeing Caitlin Clark's face, you'll be sucked in. So I did
Mhm.
notice that our little short that does feature Caitlin Clark and talking about both Caitlin Clark and Aaron Rodgers, that got a lot of traffic because she is transcendent above women's basketball and sports. So yeah, go to the YouTube channel and you'll really find everything that you're looking for, including my dog retching on the first edition of the show. Oh my gosh, so funny. I've had people that I know don't watch or listen on a regular basis that I'm not even sure know I have a new show. So
Mhm.
friends or former colleagues, that kind of thing. But the video and I put it up on a couple of different platforms. I know we did too, of Flower throwing up. Yeah, that got a lot of like thumbs up or laughing so hard you're crying emojis because that was amazing.
I was also very pleasantly surprised by the amount of like outreach we got though, checking on her though. Like that was really nice to be able to
Yes,
see
that is
too.
sweet. What did I tell you? We agree on nothing in this country but the NFL and dogs. We
Yes.
do love our puppies. We love our dogs. But I actually so new strategy this morning, Zach. I had to walk down the other end of the house. So we live in a ranch house. So I'm on one end and my husband's on the other, just so that we don't interrupt or interfere with each other while we're working. And I had to distract the dogs because Flower was laying here on the rug chomping. And I mean, it was loud. She's got big old Belgian Malinois teeth. She was chomping on her bone. And so I knew if I just tried to kick her out, that wasn't going to work. So I distracted them and took them down to the other end of the house and asked my husband to play with them. So scratch bellies for a second so that they would be distracted. I don't know if you have to do that with your toddler sometimes, like distract him with something bright and shiny. So
all the time. It's usually when people leave. This is going to be sad on me for he doesn't do the best with goodbyes at times. So it's like we have to wave, but then if we like, oh, you want to go outside? Oh, and he forgets about everything else because we're outside. So yeah,
that sounds like my dog. She loves being outside.
Well, that's the beauty. Well, never mind. I'm not going to say that because I meant it as a joke, but I don't want to take it the wrong ways. That's the beauty of it. Sometimes you can do the same thing for both, and it works for both of them.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so coming up, we've got Ask Amy Anything. We'll take your questions. We'll do that about an hour from now here on the show, and that'll be happening live like it did when I would do my radio show. Here's the funny part, though. I can't make faces at your questions now because I'm on video. I got to be really careful about my facial expressions because there are times, I will admit, when I would grimace at a question or laugh at a question. And so I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I want to be careful about my reactions. And also coming up next hour, so at the top of the hour, about 40 minutes from now, National Sales Manager for Rogue Media Network. Her name is Stephanie. She's not only an amazing colleague who has a terrific attitude and work ethic, but also is a former radio host herself and my new friend. It's so neat to be able to work for a company that has a female as a national sales manager, because that's not the most common thing. It's like having female producers. Very rarely in my career, forget having a female host. So I'm really excited to welcome Stephanie. And if you want to partner with the show, then she's the brain trust behind all of that. So I'm excited to talk to her and hear a little bit about her background in the business. Ask Amy Anything and Steph. And then coming up next, Micah Parsons and Tarek Skubal, two of the athletes coming from different perspectives, but getting excited about what's to come on the horizon with both of them. Although the Dodgers in a bit of a free fall right now. Glad to have you with us on this hump day. All In with Amy Lawrence on YouTube and Rogue Media Network.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco. One of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Farmhound's approach is a little different than a traditional treat company. We get to work with local farmers who are putting everything they can into regenerative farming. From the soil to the animals to the ecosystem. They care about how animals are raised and how we treat the earth. It's not just product, but it's part of that story. It's connected to just a whole lot more.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Even before our national sales manager at Rogue Media Network joins us on the show, Stephanie will be so proud because I'm doing what I need to do and thanking our corporate partners. And one of them is Waco Surf, which is awesome because it's still super hot in many parts of the country. You can make it an epic adventure at Waco Surf. And for more info, wacosurf.com. Not just for locals. They've got a hotel. They've got private cabins. You can also drive in your RV and hook up there, wacosurf.com. And as I'm new, I'm grateful for those who've jumped on to be part of what we're doing here, not just on Rogue Media Network, but also All In with Amy Lawrence. Taking your questions for Ask Amy Anything. I'm pretty excited about the fact that we've got a lot of people right now that are listening live. And you know what I'm going to try to do? If you reach out, whether it's on our live stream or on our social media, and you tell me where you are, how you're following the show, obviously right now, you would be watching live. I will mention those on air because I want to know that we are reaching across this great United States of ours. So this is Jesse. On our live stream, he says, good morning. Actually, he says, good morning. I like that. Good morning, Amy, from Elk Grove, California. So we've had New York. We've had California. We also have someone who, let's see, is joining us from Chicago. I got that one too. And then here's another one. Good morning from Cleveland. Oh, my friend Rhonda. So Rhonda and I have connected over years of me talking about Cleveland sports, and not always with the most positive reaction and opinions, because sometimes Cleveland sports can be a mess. Let's just be honest. But because my mom's whole side of the family is from Northeast Ohio, a Youngstown area, if you know Ohio, which is about halfway between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I have a special and fond place in my heart for Northeast Ohio. So I speak the truth in love. I am frank about it. And sometimes Cleveland sports and the way they're run make me want to facepalm or stick a fork in my eye. But I do love that the fans are extremely passionate. And I tell this story sometimes just to point out that I understand. In my grandparents' neighborhood, so my grandparents had a home in the Youngstown area. That's where my mom grew up. I've got cousins there, and we used to have the most epic family reunions and get-togethers there in the summer because my grandparents would celebrate their wedding anniversary in the summer. I will never forget when I was a kid, they celebrated their 50th, and we had this massive party. It was awesome. I remember even now, I'd have to go back and think about how old I was. But even now, the tables that were set up in the driveway and the games we played with the cousins until after dark, and the screaming and the yelling. And I still have photos, actually. And if you look above my shoulder here, the one photo of two people, it's my grandparents. You would have to zoom in, which is fine. You can do that with digital. My grandfather, who passed away when I was 16, he was my hero. Passed away from lung cancer, and it was hard to see him go through that. So that was really one of my first experiences as a young person with losing someone that I loved. And then my grandmother next to him, these are my mom's parents. They were dressed up for a wedding there, and my grandmother passed away a week after 9/11. Some of the last conversations I had with my grandmother were her crying and not understanding what was happening in our country. And so they're very special to me. And Youngstown, Ohio has their suburb of Girard has a very special place in my heart. And when I was growing up and would spend time at my grandparents' house, as we're getting ready for football season, especially, you would see driveways in their neighborhood painted in black and gold or decorated with orange and brown. It was either Steeler Nation or it was Browns country, depending upon who you talk to and which neighbors you were conversing with at the time. And so I certainly understand Browns angst. A lot of times in that neighborhood, they were the younger brother, the picked on kid brother to the Steelers, and sometimes it can still be that way. So as much as I talk about Cleveland sports, it's because I feel like the fans deserve better. So good morning to Rhonda. We've had many conversations over the course of the last few years, and she is so glad that we're back. We're back, baby, and better than ever. So all in here with Amy Lawrence means that I'm learning with you, and I'm just diving in with both feet without looking. That's something that I think is probably part of my personality. I jump in or I go 110 miles per hour, and then maybe I stop and think about it after the fact. So you can send your comments and your questions for Ask Amy Anything. Sergio is watching in Toronto. That's awesome. Glad to know we're international as well. And I certainly understand that many of you are going to consume it after the fact. I've had people say to me, hey, I can't watch YouTube while I'm at work. That's fine. We understand, actually like the digital component in that you can take it with you when you go. I know that sometimes when I'm driving, so I can't watch them when I'm driving, but I listen to my favorite podcasts or my favorite speakers, or sometimes when I'm on the bike or I'm running, I'll listen to a podcast as well. And it might have a video component, but I just enjoy listening because that's really, radio is my first love. That's my favorite thing to do, is to listen and to have my brain be engaged while I'm suffering through a workout or something along those lines. So send your questions for Ask Amy Anything. That's coming up just over an hour from now. All right, so back to football. Micah Parsons is one of my favorite people to cover because his personality is big and bold and unforgettable. And obviously, he's one of the most talented pass rushers in the NFL. And it was a crushing blow, not just for him personally, but for the Green Bay Packers last year in week 15 when he tore his ACL and his meniscus. And you could hear that massive thud. Packers. I also have a connection to the Packers because my dad's side of the family is all from Wisconsin, and my Grammy, until she passed away at 100, would give me her perspective on the Packers. This would be Grammy Helen's analysis. I don't think they're trying very hard. I mean, sometimes she was right. So I covered my first game at Lambeau Field going back, say 3-4 years ago, and it's like going to Wrigley Field in Chicago or going to Fenway Park in Boston. It's unique. It's got so much tradition, and the fans bring it even for preseason games. So with the Packers, they had a lot of buzz and excitement and felt like there was something special, even in what was a very crowded and competitive race for the NFC North division title a year ago. Think about it. The Chicago Bears, in year 2 of Caleb Williams, year 1 of Ben Johnson, they were able to grab that division title in just 12 months after the Lions and the Vikings had gone back and forth and had really made it a battle all the way to the end of what was the 2024 season. And so that division seen a ton of turnover in a lot of different places, but at the top of the division, it's pretty cool to see those battles. Micah Parsons, a major reason why you could see potentially a shifting and the Packers feeling like they could compete, not just for the division title, but ultimately for a Super Bowl again. They love what they've got in Jordan Love, and I know their receiving core has been through a lot of injuries, but also a lot of changes. The Packers felt like Micah Parsons was the key to them catapulting into contention. And he was awesome last year. He not only does he bring a locker room presence and a ton of energy, right? So I think about him like the Energizer Bunny, or this explosive presence that every time he gets on the field, not only do you have to put 2 guys on him, but you can expect him to try something new. He is very versatile. He loves being creative with his position and the spin moves and just the cerebral approach that he has to it and trying to outsmart the guys across the line from him. The way he moves around and the freedom that he has as a pass rusher, is pretty impressive. And so he is a force on the field, and it was such a devastating loss for the Packers so late in the year. But not just for the Packers. The fact is that when you tear knee ligaments in week 15, it's going to take you some time to get back on the field. Think about Patrick Mahomes and why there's so many questions about whether or not Patrick will be ready for the first game of the regular season. Don't know if we'll see him in preseason. It's not something that's necessary for a Patrick Mahomes. But the fact that he tore his ACL late in the year, not quite as late as Micah Parsons, but he has been cleared for full football activity in training camp, which is a big step forward. If you follow sports and athletes who tear their ACLs, it's a common injury. And there are athletes who have world-class facilities and technology to help them rehab and recover, but also they're young, they're in the prime of their careers, and their bodies heal more quickly. There are some who have come back. I think Adrian Peterson is a great example, who's come back in 9 months. And you've got other guys who've come back from devastating injuries. Even now, Achilles injuries, they used to be at least a year and then some. And think about Jason Tatum with the Boston Celtics and how quickly he came back from that injury. So as the technology and the science advances, as teams and franchises spend more and more money and invest more and more resources in helping their athletes heal, you see these incredible recoveries. And I have no doubt that Micah Parsons is giving it the same energy and the same gusto with which we see him on the field, right? He's approaching rehab the same exact way, same as what you would see from a Patrick Mahomes and expect from a Mahomes. And so we saw what Micah was able to do on the field before he got injured. 12 and a half sacks, lots of tackles, obviously, but disruptions, really. Forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, just the way that he creates a mess out there for offenses and opposing offenses. And the more he absorbs and the more he learns and the more experience he gets, the tougher it's going to be. Which is why sometimes you see athletes who are getting older, they're wiser, they're craftier. Maybe they don't have that same explosive first step, but they're still dangerous because of all they've seen and experienced on the field. So to lose Micah Parsons was devastating, but I love hearing that he has got some plans, he's moving forward, and that we should see him on the field relatively soon. So one of the things that Micah was asked at training camp on Tuesday was about these last couple months and trying to get back on the field and feeling like he's approaching that point at which, he can increase his activity level. So it's good to hear him talk about actual football.
I made a lot of, I'm running, I'm moving around. I'm at a plyo stage. I'm in my plyos, and next thing to conquer is after we finish D-cell will be change direction. And, hopefully we accomplish that by that, and 6 weeks. We got 6 weeks. We're blocking each phase off in the 6-week phase. So we're right where we should be. And, as a training staff and myself, we're excited and happy where I'm at, and just excited to keep working.
I love that. I love to hear that they've got a plan. Of course, they've got a plan, short-term plan, long-term plan. And as I say, Micah is attacking this phase of his recovery because no one wants to get back on the field more than he does. All right. So this is kind of funny too. And I love his sense of humor. As I tell you, he's one of my favorite guys to cover in sports, and he's got his own podcast, which at times I've listened to. I think he's highly entertaining, and he's a guy that you will definitely see if he desires in a TV booth post-career. But he also has some control over his own kind of media empire, if you will, that he's building, because that's one of his goals for the future. He was asked by one of the reporters as he's doing this press conference about a teammate, Baron Sorrell, claiming that he has the best hands on the Packers defense.
I mean, the speed and explosiveness, that I'll take that. But the hands, I mean, if it was like a drop, like he dropped in the hook and picked off a nice little jumped in the air screen, but off a screen, I don't know if I'm gonna give him. That's like a lob. That's like you out in the backyard playing with your friends. Like I can't give him best hands off of that. Like,
but he said he has receiver and tight end background early on.
I'm not gonna lie. Do y'all believe that? like, there's no film to back this. Of those, like, we can look at my running back film. Like, there's proof of that. Like, I gotta see proof. I gotta see ability of you like head topping somebody. Like, we need to see how good that skill was at receiver and tight end that he claims.
So you don't believe that?
No, because on his huddle, I just see defensive end. We saw defensive end, nothing more.
Good stuff. It's one of my favorite things about the way that media is now. I know it can be so invasive and it can be so annoying at times when these guys can't get away from microphones and get away from cameras. But at the same time, it gives us more of an understanding of who they are, especially when they become comfortable in their own skin and their sense of humor. And also that's where their own social media platforms like a podcast might come into. You get to hear and see them in a different forum. Now, Micah's comfortable in front of a mic because he's done it a lot. Some guys are more rigid or they've been trained in how to reproach and how to reproach, how to approach, although reproach to the media and how to manage that and just get out from in front of the camera as quickly as possible. But there are some guys who enjoy it. And I dare say that with Micah spending as many months as he has rehabbing, not being able to express himself on the field, he's learned more, he's watched more, he's seen more, he's absorbed more, and that's going to make him an even better player. All right, one more from Micah, and this is something that is definitely of interest to NFL fans, not just those who wear green and gold, but also those who root for Micah Parsons' former team, the Cowboys. And I think I don't speak out of turn when I say for the rest of us as well, looking ahead to week 6 between the team that traded him and the team that now has Micah Parsons services. Will he be ready to go in week 6 against Dallas?
Yeah, I think it's very realistic. I just as me and the staff we gotta put the work in. We gotta get to the point where I'm feeling great and we all say, Micah, you'll be in a really good phase. Is it possible? Yes. So I wouldn't say it's not possible, but at the same time, in these next, how many weeks is that?
It's week 6.
10 weeks? What is it, 10, 12 weeks from now? I don't know. We got to do our part to make it possible, but, it's not off the board, but we got to put the work in.
I love it. Good stuff with Micah Parsons. I am definitely rooting for him to get back on the field. And while I'm not the host or the sports broadcaster who has schedules memorized, that's just not me. I sometimes don't even know who's playing as we get to Wednesday of the upcoming week because I'm so absorbed in the previous week that I really don't turn the page until it's Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I start to look ahead. I know some of you who play fantasy football are probably obsessing over it, or if you want to buy tickets, you maybe pick a game on the road for your favorite team that's a travel destination. The international games now, that makes a difference, of course, because they're fans and families who want to go to Australia. Wouldn't that be great to see an NFL game? Though, to be honest, if I'm going to Australia, if my husband and I plan that trip, which we would love to, Australia, New Zealand, it's probably not going to be for a football game. But whether it's London or Germany or Brazil or Mexico, maybe it is Australia. A lot of fans like to plan these trips around football games. But I had to look it up because I don't know the Packers schedule by heart. They do start out with a fair number of games that will challenge them. So the very first one is a division game, which is crazy, at Minnesota. Wouldn't you love to have Micah Parsons ready then? Then it's at the Jets. So they actually begin with 3 of their first 4 games. So 3 games in their opening month are on the road. They are home with the Falcons on a Thursday night, and then they've got a trip to Tampa. So think about that. Minnesota, not a real extensive road trip, but then to New York and back. They host the Falcons, to Tampa and back. And on the heels of that first month, Bears, the reigning division champion in the North, and there's the Cowboys game right behind that. I just want to state for the record again in this forum that I never would have traded Micah Parsons, not in a million years. I will root for him. I'll be excited for him wherever he goes because I think he's terrific ambassador for football, for himself, and for the Packers too now. Okay, get your questions in. I think that we've got a healthy stream going right now with comments. I love seeing your greetings and your good mornings and letting me know that you're with us inside of an hour until Ask Amy Anything. So whether it's online, Facebook page, or whether it's my Twix account or X account, because Zach will check those out too. And then also here on the live stream, you get to ask Amy anything. I know you've missed it. I know you can't wait. It's weird too, because I feel like I should be throwing out a phone number, but that's not something we do here on a live YouTube stream. So you got to reach us digitally. Thanks for hanging out. Good to have you with us on the hump day. All In with Amy Lawrence on YouTube and Rogue Media Network.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us in our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
If you need to pick me up on this Wednesday hump day, we've got the cure. We've got the answer. We've got the option for Ask Amy Anything. And I'm overwhelmed right now by the number of comments that are coming in and from all over the country. You guys, this is good. My boss needs to know this. So thank you. I'm sharing a few more now. We've got Bubba tuning in from South Carolina. Good morning to you. Also, a Ronald in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. And he says, I'm out walking my dog Molly in the sunshine. I used to listen to you late night. Now I'm retired and can watch and listen to your show. Made my summer. Oh, I think that made my day. Thank you. Let's see. Another one. Lori is watching from Houston, Texas. I know just based on my relationship with Sports Radio 610 in Houston and the fact that my mom has been in the area for almost 14 years or 15 years now, actually, that I've done a lot of work in the Houston area. My first ever Super Bowl covered in person, meaning the game, not Radio Row, but I went to the Super Bowl in Houston. That was Falcons, Patriots, 28-3, first one ever to go into overtime. Though since then we had Chiefs and Eagles in overtime, but wow, it was quite the experience to be inside the building for a Super Bowl. Also covered one of the best sporting events I've ever seen live, the Final Four in Houston in 2016 that ended with Chris Jenkins nailing the buzzer beater for Villanova that won the championship against North Carolina. And what I'll never forget is being inside NRG Stadium, and I was down. So I was off the corner on a media platform, off the corner of the court. So Chris Jenkins shot the ball, and it was coming right at me. I knew it was online. I didn't know if it was short or too long, but I knew that if it was the right distance, that ball was going in because I could see it was online. And the stadium held its collective breath, which is weird because it felt like forever, but it was actually only a nanosecond. The buzzer sounded, the ball went through the hoop. I've never heard noise like that, a cacophony of noise. Because again, I'm down near the court, just flowing down from the upper reaches of the stadium. And guess what else was flowing down? Seat cushions. I got hit with multiple seat cushions that people were throwing after that Villanova buzzer beater. So that was kind of funny. One of my favorite experiences of a game I've ever covered in person. And I'm still going through culture shock here in Texas, but I do appreciate so much of what I've gotten to know about Houston and the people for sure. So Lori, thanks for watching from Houston. Let's see. Tuning in from Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's awesome. Yvonne says Santa Cruz, California, watching on YouTube. Good morning, Yvonne. She says I may do some podcasting when driving. Let's see. Another one is, now I don't know where this is from, so I guess I can't, but more people are watching and saying it's good to see or hear you again. Awesome. Also, Galaxy users unite. A couple of people weighing in with their solidarity over Galaxy. Okay, so I know I'm alone on my island, but I'm not ever going back to iPhone. I had one 20 years ago maybe, and it just not my thing. So coming up, Stephanie Beatty, who is the national sales manager for Rogue Media Network, will join us, but she also has a great background in radio herself, and you'll hear it. She's tremendous when it comes to personal conversation and makes you feel like she can help you achieve whatever goal it is that you have out there. She's a go-getter. Funny story, though. When I first heard about her, so I didn't know her at the time, I was talking to my new boss, Corey, who's the owner of Rogue Media Network, and he described Stephanie as a dog, as in DAWG. And I didn't tell Corey at the time, but Steph and I both told him, women don't necessarily want to be described as dogs, not even when it is a positive thing. Dogs. All right, so we're heading up toward the top of the hour. She'll join us after the top. But while we're talking about football news, and I know yesterday the breaking news from the Atlanta Falcons was the deal to make Bijan Robinson the highest paid running back in NFL history. May not last very long, but whatevs. For a short time, for 5 minutes, he's the highest paid running back in NFL history. And it's good that they should hitch their wagon to his star because he's an engine that can make that offense go, especially as they're trying to figure out the best plan and strategy moving forward at quarterback. Yikes. Well, that was the good news. I think it was $22.25 million per year. And he's happy and he's going to go out there presumably motivated. Now, sometimes you've got guys who take the contract, take the big money. They steal the Binks. Is it Binks or Brinks? Binks truck, right? There's a reason why I have no idea what the money truck is named. Binks. Wait, Brinks. Shoot, I don't, somebody tell me. It's Binks or Brinks. It's a money truck. There's a reason why I can't identify. For me, it's Monopoly money. But there are some guys who will take that money and then they will take it easy after that. Doesn't really matter to them if they perform for the contract. But that is not the case, I believe, with a guy like Bijan. And you can tell their character too. After a guy gets paid, is he still willing to work his rear end off, or do you kind of see that motivation wane a little bit? Brinks. Thank you, Jesse. I don't know what Binks is. I'm not sure. Jar Jar Binks, actually, if you're a Star Wars fan or a Star Wars nerd like me. So this is kind of fun. My friend Kevin Kugler, he's the play-by-play voice of Westwood One Radio Network. He also does Big Ten games and, of course, is part of Fox NFL coverage. So he saw the studio and the way that I set up the shelves behind me. And he said he zoomed in and he saw my Star Wars book. So yes, anybody who wants to ask me a question about Star Wars, I am all in on Star Wars, maybe not trivia, but Star Wars conversations. So you can see I've got books there, right? Do you know what this is? Anybody know what this is? You tell me if you can figure out what that is right there. I think I asked Zach earlier in the show. And then I've got an Uno card collection that Star Wars featured and designed. And actually, that's not a great angle for my model. You know what? During the next break, I'll tilt it so you can see what it is. I won't give it away, but I will say that one of the reasons I knew my husband was my life partner and my person is that right after we started dating, so we were long distance for 9 months. He was in Texas and I was in it's a great story, but he was in Texas. I was in New Jersey. And of course we were meeting or going back and forth. And on May 4th, 2023, we'd only been together for a couple of months. He still went out of his way to send me a gift for May the 4th. And I think it's an amazing tradition. Every year he surprises me with something fun. And so now we're into fourth year, and he continues to surprise me with little Star Wars charms or gifts for May the 4th. And so that's one of them, actually. And I brought it in here kind of at the last second to add it to my little Star Wars collection. But yeah, actually, as I point right there, that little statuette, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to zoom in and see it and figure out what it is. That came from producer Jay, a producer that many of you are familiar with. You listen to my radio show, and he and I also share a great love for Star Wars. So Star Wars nerd that I am, there had to be a Star Wars component as part of the new show and the new studio. Okay, so talking about football, back to the Falcons. I get off on tangents. I have a t-shirt that says, well, it's a math diagram. It's a graph of a tangent. And my mom's a math teacher. Actually, she was my math teacher in high school. She still teaches math and advanced math calculus part-time. And so I have a t-shirt that I initially bought for her, but it actually fit me better. I didn't get the right size, or it was, I don't know, whatever. It wasn't true to size. And it says, sometimes I go off on a ... And then there's the graph of a tangent. Well, not everyone knows what that is. And so when I run into people and say the airport or the grocery store, they'll take a guess at what that graph is and what it means. Sometimes I go off on a tangent. And Mom did say that shirt actually fits you, meaning like fits your personality more than it fits me. So yes, I veer off and I take the scenic route when we're doing a show. But back to the Falcons. The Falcons paid Bijan Robinson, and on the heels of that, literally hours later, Kevin Stefanski had to stop practice early because they lost one of their rookie edge rushers. And so now Jalon Walker will miss the 26th season because of a torn ACL, which sucks for them because they invested a couple of picks early in the draft this past spring on their pass rush. And if you follow the Falcons, you know that they've invested resources, they've made trades, they've attempted to beef up that pass rush, even going back to Dan Quinn when he was there. Remember, he came from Seattle He was the defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll for a time. He took that head coaching job in Atlanta, which was his first head coaching gig. And his whole deal was to bring a beefed up defense and new concepts and the toughness and try to bring in the right guys who could implement and carry out the defensive vision that he had for the Falcons. But it never really worked. And the entire time that Dan Quinn was there, and then since they've hired a couple of different coaches, the defense has lacked the teeth in the pass rush. They've had some guys come through there that you thought might beef it up, and they've continued to work on that side of the ball and that particular aspect of their defense, but it's not worked yet. And so this is part of the issue, is that they really thought that having these couple of guys that come in. So like James Pierce, he was drafted in 2025 in the first round. He got in trouble with the law and was arrested on domestic violence charges back in February, though he is with the team. And Walker then was drafted, I think, midway through the first round out of Georgia. So a guy that has a lot of local support and is familiar with the area. And so last year, I hope I didn't say he was a rookie. I meant to say the year before, last spring. He had a handful of sacks as a rookie, and they were really looking at him to try to beef up that pass rush and take a step forward in 2026. And so they have invested resources, but to lose him in what is his second season because of a torn ACL is a huge bummer. So they've got the great news about Bijan Robinson and securing that and getting that contract done, but then losing Walker is a blow. And that's kind of what happens in training camp. You hope to sidestep or avoid the major injury. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough because it's part of the deal with football, to be sure. Let's see. Michael is listening in Tampa, Florida. Thanks for joining us on the Hump Day. Now, coming up just after the top of the hour, she's my new friend, a new advocate, a new ally, but also a badass at what she does, and in a perfect spot as national sales manager for Rogue Media Network. You do not want to get on her bad side. That's what I'm learning. Stephanie Beatty will join us after the top of the hour here. All In with Amy Lawrence. She's All In on YouTube and Rogue Media Network.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us in our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
Oh, you got to turn on the mic, Amy. See, these are the things that when I did them in a radio studio, no one would see them. Now, any faux pas or misstep I make, you all see it, but I hope that you laugh with me. So as we start hour number 2, Mom is listening and watching. See, I got to get used to the watching part, though I suppose you could be listening too. But Mom is watching, and she was hearing me talk about my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary and not knowing exactly how old I was. And she texted me and said 7. And I didn't know what she meant, but she meant you were 7 when your grandparents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. So yeah, having Mom hang out and be part of the show gives me confidence. I know my hubs is down the hall on the other end of the house, and he's watching too. And I actually told my brother, now he probably isn't doing it, but I know he tuned in the first day, to use all the computers in his house and put them on the live stream on YouTube so that it would look like we had more views. It's okay. I'm not just about the views. I'm much more about the quality and the connection. And thank you to those of you who are already sending in your comments, like this one from Rogue Media Network. Who is your guest today? Now, I don't know that that's supposed to be Ask Amy Anything question, but we'll answer it now. See, even as you send your questions for Ask Amy Anything, we will get to those coming up before the bottom of the hour. Eek. But right now, our time and our energy is reserved for a new friend and a badass national sales manager, Stephanie Beatty. And Steph, I know you're in the office, so this is kind of funny. Being in the office last week to do some last minute planning and prep with Zach, it's really funny because the the offices in the there in the building don't have ceilings, and so everything you and I talked about, or everything
everybody could hear.
Yeah, people from the other side of the floor were yelling the answers, so everybody can hear you right now while you're joining us.
There are no secrets in this building, so you know.
I love that.
What is it? Amy, telefax, telephone, whatever that statement is. I mean, the whole world can hear us.
Yes, right. So I guess they can yell and scream from behind. I don't know if the boss is in the building, but somebody just wrote. Oh, okay. So is it Corey who just wrote on our live stream? Who's the guest today?
Probably. I think he can hear me. So he's literally right there. So.
Awesome. Well, it's such a privilege for me to have you on the show, not only because I'm grateful for the opportunity with Rogue Media, but also because you and I have bonded, and we already know we have a lot in common. When Corey forgot that he was supposed to buy me lunch my first day in town, you stepped in and you took me to lunch. And so I'm getting to know some of the restaurants in Waco. But even before we talk about Rogue Media Network, I love that you also have a background in radio, because we share that too. Well, how many years did you spend working in radio?
Let's see. I started in media broadcasting radio when I was 19 in college. So if that tells you, I'm not going to age myself, but
we're both up there.
I'm about to know. 30 plus years I've been in the industry. I've been on air and of course in sales. And so I've actually, in 2 weeks, I will have been here at Rogue for a year now. I was on a local station on an ESPN affiliate here. And then Corey and I just found each other, started a relationship, and here I am. I mean, a work relationship, so don't take that the wrong way. So I'm here and I love it. I love what I do. I love that I get to work with you. And just so everyone knows who's listening and watching, Amy is blowing it out of the water right now. She really is. I mean, it takes what she's accomplished in 3 days, takes it to organically grow. It takes a little longer process, but Amy's just killing it, and we're just fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
Because you're going to make me a superstar as I continue to get you sponsors, and I can pay my kids' college off. So anyways, but yeah, so I've been I go off on a tangent too. That's why Amy and I get along.
Oh yeah.
We're squirrels, right? We start one thing, we end up over here, but we eventually come back to the beginning of the conversation when we started. It just may take us an hour. So, but yes, I've been in the industry a long time.
No, I love it. So I describe it as my spaghetti plate brain, meaning you twirl some spaghetti and a bunch of other strains are stuck on the plate or come falling off the plate. You describe it as squirrel. And when Steph and I will be talking, we went to lunch with her husband on Friday, and she'll just say squirrel moment or squirrel. And I now understand that she realizes that she was chasing something.
We were going around in circles, but we did end up at home plate with the home run eventually. So there you go.
I love mixed metaphors too. So when you changed from radio to the YouTube or video format, how challenging was it for you to kind of adjust your mindset?
Well, fortunately, because I've been in the sales world too, and I understand the streaming and the podcasting world in digital, it was an easy transition. I just kind of came in and said, okay, what am I selling? Who's who's what? And then it just took off. The great thing about what we do is that I'm able to show our sponsors or people that you're endorsing exactly how many views that their ad is getting during your show, how many impressions their ad is getting. And I always say there's power in numbers, and you can't argue numbers, right? And when you're sponsoring, you want to be able to see what you want to return on your investment. And so I love it. I absolutely love it. It's every day is a new challenge. But it's great. It is, but it's fun. So it is different than radio. Radio, the other thing too with radio, which you're experiencing now, Amy, is, you're not on camera. You're just on a mic. So you can walk in and you can wear your pajamas and nobody's even going to know it.
I did not ever wear my pajamas to work.
Okay. I did one time because it was a snowstorm. But
I agree.
But I did wear makeup.
Sometimes.
I did have my makeup on, but I was wearing my pajamas, so like anybody could see you. But it's fun, in streaming and podcasting. It's here, it's now, it's the present, it's the future. And, we're here. Like you and I were talking about this on Friday. Football's here, and football is my favorite sport. I mean, I grew up loving sports, ran track, did all that, cheerleader, blah, blah, blah. But, football's here. And if you want to watch NFL football on Thursday night, what do you have to do? You have to stream. So you have to stream to watch it, right? If you want to watch the NFL on Christmas Day, you're watching it on Netflix. That's streaming. So everything is streaming. It's great. I love it. I know it's a new adventure for you. And I just want to tell you, you're killing it, man. You're killing it.
Thank you.
You're a rock star.
I feel a little awkward still. Like sometimes almost feel guilty when I look away or I look at something else on the computer. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not making eye contact with the audience. But I do agree with you that in 2026, really, the industry is moving more toward this, even when it's radio. There's still a video component, right? And
Absolutely.
For the last few years with my previous network, a lot of the shows, other shows, not mine, I resisted to the very end, but the other shows would also have a live stream on the network YouTube channel. And here's the thing I love about it, Steph, too, is, and this goes back to the NFL playoffs, but just a great example from last winter. You needed for 7 games, you needed 6 different streaming channels, 6 different streaming subscriptions in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs to try to get them all. If you were going to watch them all, you're paying through the nose. And I know it's important, and that's the new model in sports, but I do love that there is a way that people can follow on YouTube without paying. So people have said to me, no, I can't subscribe to anything else. Even my mom said to me, can I listen without a subscription? Well, yes, you can. And so for now, and I hope it doesn't change, this is a free subscription on YouTube. So you don't have to pay for it to keep up with the shows.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube.
Exactly. And here's the great thing that also here at Rogue Media Network, in a few weeks, we're just waiting on Google and, all the backgrounds to come through, but we'll actually have an app that people can download on their phone and actually listen to it. Or, whoever our network carriers, you'll be able to tune in and listen by your phone, plug it up to your car, however. But it's just, you can carry Amy in your pocket is what I'm trying to say.
A little scary.
But yeah, so that's the great thing. We both do. And we both talk with our hands. That's why we get along so good. But we'll have that app soon that you can download onto your phone, onto your laptop, whatever. And so you can just, listen to Amy wherever you go.
Are you from Texas? I feel like I know the answer, maybe.
Yes, I grew up in North Dallas. High school, then went off to California and went to college there, and I majored in psychology and thought, I want to help people with their problems. And I realized I have more problems than them. No, I don't. Aww. So I got into broadcasting and advertising and media, and I've never left. I mean, it gets in your blood, and Amy knows what I'm talking about. When you've been in radio or television, once it's in your blood, it's hard to change and transition into a different career. It's just a passion. And so this is my new passion, is streaming and podcasting. So yes, I did grow up in Dallas, and I'm back here. So
what can I do to partner with you? I don't want to say make your job easier, because you don't need me for that, but what can I do in order to integrate myself into the Rogue Media Network culture, and certainly help bring on board some corporate partners? What do I do?
Well, I think you're doing it.
I hear people talking in the background, which is so funny.
It's just,
it's like a cafeteria.
Welcome to junior high. Could y'all please be quiet? I'm on air now. Don't get on my bad side. The day's just beginning.
I told you, don't get on her bad side.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. Yeah. It's my way or the highway when it comes to money. Actually, you're not. You're doing everything that you need to be doing, and I thank you for the opportunity, so that I can be on air with you and reach out to your listeners, because some of those listeners might have businesses, and the great thing about that is I'm able to just tell everyone what I do, and then if they're interested, they can just email me, and then I'll do the rest. So I appreciate the opportunity, definitely.
Funny story, when I was early in my network career, and I believe I've told you this story, but I'm not sure I've shared it with my listeners. I was at ESPN Radio, and this is part of the culture even now, where we give we call them live reads, but essentially a live plug for a particular company. Waco Surf is partnering with us, so we're talking about them live and letting people know that it's a great option for a holiday before the summer is over, right? So I remember I was the only female host at ESPN Radio, and someone handed me copy for Hooters. And I thought about it for
as a female.
Exactly. There are dozens of males that work at the company, work at the network. Why are you asking me to read this? And it was back when I was still freelancing. So I was contract labor for ESPN Radio. And I was a little bit nervous about making a stand and saying, no, this is not appropriate. I'm not going to read this. And I remember I did it. I gave it back to the producer and said, hey, I feel like there's some guys that could do this. And it would be a little more appropriate, but also probably work better coming from a guy. And I was a little nervous. I thought maybe I'd get fired, or they would say to me, like, you don't get to choose. But actually a program director came back to me and apologized. Hey, we should have been a little more sensitive. We shouldn't have asked you to do that. So I know it's different. Now, I've done live ads for pork rinds. I've done live ads for shaving cream, which I use too, right? Actually, I ran out of my own shaving cream and used my husband's in the shower a couple of days ago. So there are some products that are both. But my hope is that as a female now for Rogue Media Network, as a female host, I know I've bombarded you with ideas about these are the products that I use, that you have a whole new world that opens up to you, because there are some products that as females we use that maybe dudes do not.
That is correct. So I will tell you one product that we've had on in the past. I'm trying to get it back on. And don't laugh at the name, Amy, but this could be great. But dude wipes, they're great. Have you ever had a dude wipe in your bathroom? They're great.
I feel like my husband and I have seen them, yes, at the store. And actually, I know athletes use them. Like athletes have actually promoted them in the past. Yes.
It's like a hand towel, that you just pull out of a bag. It's great. So that would be great if you're okay with that. I would love for you to endorse dude wipes, because it's not only for males, but it's awesome for females.
Well, then they should change the name. They should change the name to all wipes or people wipes or human wipes.
Oh no, then you lose the whole, that's their name.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
But yeah, so I hope this does open up doors. So if you're out there and you want to give me your money,
anything to do with food.
She loves food. Can I just tell this story? I just got to tell you this story. No, it's a great story, because Amy loves her food. And so we go to lunch on Friday with my husband, and I take her to my favorite little taqueria in Waco, Texas. So if you're ever in Waco, go to Roy's Taqueria. It's great. It's authentic. And she's like, well, I don't know what to order, because the menu is 5 pages long practically. And I'm like, well, the sour cream enchiladas are good. And so we order and we're talking, there's squirrel moments through the whole entire conversation. You can see we both talk with our hands. And my husband looks down at her plate and is like, she finished it all. And so she proceeds to tell us this story about her first date with her husband.
Yep. True story.
And she's like, yeah, my husband just looked at me like thinking I would share my plate. I'm not going to share my plate. She ate everything on her plate. So I'm like, I could never do that. I don't want people to know that I'm a porker. Not that you're a porker. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that she likes food and she looks amazing. She's great, but she will, if you ask her over for dinner, whatever you put on her plate, she will eat it all. There's no doggy bags to take off.
No, my theory is that, sometimes when we do too many appetizers, but if someone's buying me a meal, which thank you, Corey and Steph, for a couple of meals since I've been in Waco. If someone's buying me a meal, I'm not leaving food on the plate, which is then going to get chucked into a trash can. And yes, I do love food. My husband's favorite line, and he tells people that don't even know us, he loves to let people know, kind of like a preemptive strike. Food is her love language. He tells people that all the time. Yeah, so I do respond to good food. I'm Italian and Polish. We have the best.
Y'all have the best food. Y'all have the best food. I mean, I'm American Indian. What do we eat?
What? You've got good food too. You've got all of the United States at your beck and call.
Exactly. I mean, we eat good buffalo, I guess, but
actually, it's very tasty.
It is tasty. A buffalo burger is really good. If you cook it right, so it's not too gamey, but
we could talk about food forever. Squirrel moments there for both of us.
See, there we go.
Yeah, Stephanie, my new friend, ally, and I just love the fact that I can talk about and promote a female national sales manager, because that's not something that I've had a bunch in my experience. So I love it. And while I will not describe you the way that Corey described you the first time I talked about you, I do say you're a badass and you're a go-getter and you're a force of nature, Steph. So
thank you.
I'm glad we're connected, and I hope to make your life a little easier.
Oh, you do every day. Just our little text messages throughout the day, the little laughs we have, it cheers me up, and I appreciate that. But to close, if you own a business and you want Amy to endorse your product, you can email me, Stephanie@roguemedianetwork.com, and I will be your best friend too.
Absolutely. And she keeps telling me it's my job. So I just need to be me, and Stephanie gets to be her, and she's really good at her job. Stephanie@roguemedianetwork.com.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Good to see you, Steph.
Good to see you. Keep rocking and rolling, Amy.
All right. I will do that. Awesome. So good to talk to Steph. And I didn't bring her on just because she's the national sales manager, though, of course, I do covet your corporate partnerships. And you know that I will plug the heck out of anything to do with food, or if she hands me dude wipes and says, let's go, I'll do that too. I'll bring the same enthusiasm, but that's not the only reason to have Steph on. I'm so grateful. And I know that our boss, Corey, was actually in the YouTube stream, the comments while we were talking, because he was in the other part of the building, which cracks me up. But the fact that I get to work with a woman as accomplished and smart and funny and experienced and wise, but also as just a friendly and welcoming, and we share faith, and it's just awesome to be able to connect with her immediately. And I've been so emboldened by her confidence and Corey's as well. So I'm really grateful to the two of them. The fact that they have welcomed me on board and want me to be Amy, and they will do their jobs because I'm doing mine. So I love it. I'm really thankful. People ask me for years, even before I was done with my last gig, but also extensively over and over the last 15 months, I have heard, why don't you start your own podcast? And while I get that that's what I'm doing now, and you may wonder why I waited, the reason I waited is because I wasn't going to do it alone. And Corey offering me this opportunity and giving me this position and the support, and of course, working with Zach, I wasn't going to be able to do all of this and do it well if I was solo. But the Rogue Media team is amazing, and it's been a lot of fun to get to know them. And also, even as we work through the first week, launch week, and we work out kinks, I want to make sure I introduce them to you as well. So thank you to Steph, and also thank you. I see tons of comments still popping up. We've got Busy Mama. I have no doubt, since I know Brandy personally, that she is a busy mama, and she says, you're on my TV. So she's waving from the Fox Valley in Wisconsin, which is amazing. Lots of you sharing your greetings from mom as well. Sherry is in Fort Worth, and she says, hello to mom and to Bob, which is my husband's pseudonym. Okay, we've got a few minutes left for you to send your questions for Ask Amy Anything. So you can do that over on the comments section. It's funny because I don't know if your setup looks the same as mine. So wherever you find the comments, whether they're below the stream or next to the stream, you can send your questions for Ask Amy Anything. We will get to that around 40 minutes past the hour. So coming up, Tarek Skubal made his first start we talk about sports here too. Tarek Skubal made his first start for the Dodgers, and yet their losing skid continues, but you'll hear from him straight ahead. Get your questions in. Ask Amy Anything for All In with Amy Lawrence on YouTube and Rogue Media Network.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us on our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
Mic is on. The mic is on. I've got this. It's not as smooth as I would like it to be moving forward, meaning me, the show. Nothing to do with Zach or the technology. Though, Zach, here's the question, actually. My question for you. So time for Ask Zach Anything. How is the stream today? Because I know on Tuesday we had some challenges where it would freeze up. How do you feel like it's working today?
I feel like it's been better today. When we started, we had a couple little hiccups, but it's been fine since for the most part. Like I haven't noticed, and we haven't gotten any comments, so I'm assuming that it's fine for everybody else too. So
okay, cool. Well, that's good to know, right? I haven't seen any comments about it. Also, I have to tell you, this is really funny. After we get off the show on Tuesday, I saw a story pop up on one of my major news websites about Spider-Man and why this new iteration of Spider-Man is worth seeing in the theaters. And I've seen also some colleagues and friends say to me, oh, it's amazing. You need to see it in the theaters. Well, I'll be honest. I have not watched a Spider-Man movie since Tobey Maguire. I loved the combo of Tobey and Kirsten Dunst. I know not everybody does, but I actually really liked it. And I've just kind of gotten away from the Marvel stuff because I feel like there's so many I can't keep up. But people are raving about Tom Holland. And just like a James Bond situation, I feel like Daniel Craig is the best James Bond. I used to love Roger Moore and some of the others, but I loved what Daniel Craig brought to it. So I got to be open-minded about Tom Holland. But since you've got Spider-Man above your head there, how do you like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and what do you think about the newer movies?
I haven't. Okay. The Tom Holland is fantastic.
Okay.
The newer movies are all great. So Spider-Man has always been one of the characters that it doesn't matter, even if I don't follow everything else, like I'll probably still go watch it. Like that's one of the ones. Yeah, like that's my childhood for the most part back there. So, but I think he does a really great job. All the movies that they have made with him, I think are good. I think probably, since you love it, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey and Alfred Molina, I think is still considered to be like the Spider-Man movie, but he does really good. Like he does really good. And I think that this newest one, what I read about it, I still haven't seen it yet, was that just the massive box office it opened. It was like the second biggest opening ever, which is kind of remarkable. And if you're Tom Holland, you got to feel good because I did see him in the Odyssey. So you get to be in the Odyssey and then you get a new Spider-Man movie in the same year.
Well, not just him, but his wife. So think about that.
They're in both of them. That's right.
Yes, they are the it couple right now between Tom Holland and Zendaya. And aren't they both I think they're both in the Odyssey, and they're both in the new Spider-Man movie, or this newest iteration of Spider-Man. And I'm a fan of hers. I think she's terrific.
She's really good.
I don't think I could call to mind another Tom Holland movie. Don't shoot me. But I am interested. I said to my husband, like, we need to start watching. So here's my last question. How much do I need to see before I see the new one? Do they build on each other?
I think they do. I'm going to, even though I am a massive comic book fan, I am so out of touch with, because they just release so much content that I can't watch it all.
It's hard.
It is, but I think if you watch the movies on their own, like that's all you have to do. Like there is tidbit, like there's outskirt stuff, but the main story you'll be able to follow. And I will tell you this, the first one, Michael Keaton plays an amazing bad guy.
Come on, as in Michael Keaton, who was the Batman going back to when I was a kid. I love Michael
so
Keaton.
Good, and even Jake Gyllenhaal in the second one is a great bad guy. Like,
okay,
the acting and the actors they get to, like, the Spider-Man movies, you can't go wrong with.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. And I feel like that's one of the types of movies, especially I'm an IMAX snob. So if there's ever a good movie in IMAX, I love IMAX. And well, IMAX and popcorn. So those are my two draws to a theater. So now I feel like this is worth investing to get to the theater.
I felt like maybe I did it wrong by not seeing The Odyssey in IMAX when we went and saw that, and I was just like, maybe I need to go back and see it again. But I'm with you there. I'm a big appreciator of the bigger screen and just the whole cinema experience. Like being somebody who hasn't been to the movies for so long and then finally going, it just reminds you like, oh yeah, no, I really enjoy those. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, there are a few movies that I always try to see in the theater. So Star Wars, though, I did not go see the new Mando movie. I was kind of out on Mandalorian after a couple of seasons, but all of the newer Star Wars movies, including Rogue One, which is now in my top 3. That's not the reason why I'm working with Rogue Media Network, but I'll be honest, it was kind of attractive and a fun connection. So I also love the MI movies. So big fan of Mission Impossible. I know they're crazy, but the Final Reckoning with the warnings about AI. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, well, certainly the Top Gun movies.
Yeah, those are so. Is there more than just 2 on the Top Gun though? Have I missed the Top Gun movie?
And I think my husband and I saw Maverick maybe twice in theater. Like it was so good.
All right. But yeah, no, those are all great. I need to get caught up on a lot of those too.
Yeah. Well, see, after 2020, when people started doing the streaming at home version of the movies, I know that it's very popular. It's convenient. Obviously, it's cheaper, but there are just some movies that we like to see in person. So
I'll add
the popcorn is a big attraction too.
You bring up a great point, and I'm going to get very just kind of like, psychological for a second. We're missing third spaces, and like the movie theater is a place like that. Like I understand being able to sit at the comfort of your own home and enjoy it all, but there is something special about getting the whole the whole get up, the buying your ticket, the going through the concession stand, the sitting there, the trying to plan when I should go for my bathroom break and get back kind of thing. Like that's things you don't get to do at home because I just pause it. So.
That's true. Good point. Well, and I don't know about you, Zach, but I don't have a massive screen or a home theater with great audio. So I've got the same TV that I watch football games on, and that's where we watch if we're watching a movie at home, which again is nice. It is convenient, but yes, getting out and going on a date night or taking friends or going with family to the movie theater because of, did I mention the popcorn? Because of the popcorn. All right. So if you've got movie questions or any other kind of questions, you can send them to our chat on the YouTube channel. Sometimes I feel like I should call it a page, but YouTube channel, All In with Amy Lawrence, you're here. So send your questions. You might as well for Ask Amy Anything. We are not even 5 minutes away from Ask Amy Anything. And in addition, seeing a lot of your greetings on the stream as well, which is awesome. I love that Elmer says that was an awesome chat with Stephanie. Very cool. Stephanie's got a fan already. He's a lifelong Kansas City Chiefs fan and did submit a question for Ask Amy Anything. That's cool. Edward says, I'm 71. I've never watched a Spider-Man movie. You know what, man? You've got a lot of years left to your life. It's never too late to get in on a cool trend or some really good entertainment. So thank you for watching us. Good choice, and maybe Spider-Man 2, and then give us your movie review. All right, before we get to our break here, we saw the debut of Tarek Skubal as a Dodger. Dodgers did not win, but I don't know that you can blame it on Tarek. He went 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs and 4 hits. He had 6 strikeouts, including his very first hitter face with the Chicago Cubs. But he did give up a Dansby Swanson home run on a fastball, just a little bit too far over the plate in the sweet spot, if you will, for Dansby. But yeah, Tarek now speaking as a Dodger and evaluating himself in that first start.
Did it feel by the time you took the mound and like you actually get into the start?
Yeah, I mean, baseball is baseball. The game's the game. it's my job to just go out there and compete and do what I can and try to put our team in a position to win a ball game. And that's all I can ask myself to do. But the game's always just a game.
How big your stuff was that? Seemed to be working overall. How'd you
Yeah. I mean, I think my stuff was plenty good. I felt like I commanded everything really well. I think, maybe the low strike rate, I don't even know what it is. But, when I was missing in the areas that I was trying to go. There's just a few sinkers and a few sliders that can kind of flip at bats. I probably should be a little bit better at first pitch strikes. I think, especially second or third time through, I need to be better there. But, the stuff coming out of my hand is what I expect out of myself.
So you hear Skubal talk about his strike ratio, and actually I happened to see it when I was reading before the show. Apparently, and I don't even need to give you the numbers just to know that it was a 60% strike rate, lowest of any of his starts over the past 3 seasons, which of course includes back-to-back Cy Young awards in the American League with the Tigers. Now, here's something interesting too. If you're one of those who follows the ebb and flow of the standings, it's still just August. It's the dog days. We have not even reached the stretch run yet. We're just post All-Star break. And if you add up the numbers, you're talking about 114, 115, maybe 113 games each for these teams. So they still have roughly 50, not quite 50 games to go. A lot can still happen. We will see a ton of movement through the rest of August and September before we get to the postseason in October. But it's no longer the Dodgers who have the best record in Major League Baseball. So they've dropped 5 games in a row now. They're sitting on 69 wins. You've got both the Braves and the Phillies in the East who are getting closer to that. The Cubs as well with their 65 wins. But how about this? The Milwaukee Brewers are right now the only team in Major League Baseball with 70 wins. And they're taking advantage of the Dodgers swoon as they surge into first place, best record in the National League at this point. The playoffs do not start today, but I know Brewers fans sometimes feel like they don't get as much attention. I have no doubt Skubal will find a rhythm. He is that good and he's that valuable. But think about everything he's been through in the last couple weeks, saying goodbye to Detroit, starting over, the attention, the questions, all of that comes with being in the spotlight like he is. But look at the Brewers. You ask pretty much any baseball analyst these days, and they will tell you that the Brewers pose the most serious threat to the Dodgers in terms of knocking them off that throne come October. So I know there's a lot of Brewers fans that are pretty excited about the prospects and the potential. All right, couple minutes left to send your questions for Ask Amy Anything. I know Zach's getting ready. I'm getting ready. I'm excited. We're reviving this favorite feature of yours coming up next here on All In with Amy Lawrence, YouTube and Rogue Media Network.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to CentralTexasCattleBaronsBall.org.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Farmhound's approach is a little different than a traditional treat company. We get to work with local farmers who are putting everything they can into regenerative farming. From the soil to the animals to the ecosystem. They care about how animals are raised and how we treat the earth. It's not just product, but it's part of that story. It's connected to just a whole lot more.
It is time. A soft launch for Ask Amy Anything this first week, but I wanted to start it the first week. I know Zach is interested to see how it goes. It will beef up the production, and we're going to continue to connect with you and give you multiple ways to find us so that you can send your questions. But I know we're getting a ton already on the YouTube stream, and Zach have also got some from social. So this is how it normally works. The producer is the one who poses the questions and gets to pick. And I don't always see them ahead of time, though I've got a couple. If you need a pause or a break, I've got a couple that I've seen too. But I'm excited to see how you manage not just asking me the question, but also somehow putting it there on the bottom if if possible. That's multitasking.
It is. I can throw the ones up that we have. I didn't know if I should be on there. I can just voice of God it for this. I like that. But I can throw up the ones that we get, obviously, here in the YouTube studio up there, which I had one that I wanted to ask, and I can't find it now, but you brought up a great one as I'll find the next one, if you want to get started with that one, which is, what was there a big culture shock for you in moving to Texas?
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny because I tell people, and I'm honest about this, I've cried over the weather when it was 85 degrees at Christmas time. Even though my family was here, I was still slightly depressed. And then even worse was knowing that where we had just moved from, New Jersey, the New York City area, they got bombarded with my dream winter, which was several feet of snow. I love snow. I grew up in New Hampshire. Snow is my favorite. And if I had to rank the 4 seasons, probably spring would be 1, but winter would be 2. Really, summer would be 4th. There are some positive things about summer. I love the beach, but the summers in Texas have been even harder. And in addition to that, okay, so this is a serious business here. Zach, the critters, I don't know how you deal. I've never even seen some of these critters before. Like, for instance, something called a gink? No, a kink. It's something like a combination between a lizard and a snake, and it looks like a snake and it's got feet. But also, not long ago, maybe 2 months ago, we had a tarantula who I'm the one who saw it. No joke. It was 2 feet from our bedroom outside, of course. But we had just done a bunch of yard work, and I come around the side of the house and I see this very large black thing moving through the grass. Short grass. Could you imagine if I had stepped on it? I don't go outside with flip-flops on. My husband does, and I think he's uber brave. But yeah, a tarantula that my husband had to scoop up with a bucket. That thing kept climbing to the top of the bucket and jumping out. It was so ginormous. Exactly. I'm not kidding. It was legs at least 4 feet long. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. But also, I swear we have a family of little geckos that live in our house, because every other day I feel like I either see and they're tiny. They look like a leaf or a piece of, I don't know, grass on the ground. They are so small. I don't know how they get in the house, but we've got multiple ones that we found either dead. So last night, somehow my husband found one right next to where I put my feet on the floor when I get out of bed. Little teeny gecko. So there have been geckos. There's so many different flying bugs. It's not just wasps or bees. There's something called dirt dumpers or
dirt daubers.
Those things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
Those are harmless, though, thankfully.
Okay. Well, I don't know how or where all these species come from, but I've never seen so many bugs in my entire life. It's talk about culture shock. I really need it to be cold so that all the bugs get wiped out.
Oh, well, no, that's the hope. We always hope that during the winter it gets cold enough to freeze so it kills all the mosquitoes for the next year. But
yes.
Another one then, and I think that this is just a great kind of transition from one to the other, kind of the same thing, but just about married life in general.
Oh,
is it what you expected?
Parts of it are, but if I'm being honest and I can only go yes or no, probably no is the right answer. And there are a couple reasons for that. First of all, it's better than I expected to have a partner who I can walk through life with. We laugh like hyenas. So that's one of the ways that my husband and I we get through life. And we've gone through a lot. We've moved cross country twice since we've been married, and it's not even been 3 years yet. We've gone through a lot of tough things, like he lost his dad, and we've each had people that we've lost in our lives, and just the changes in jobs, and of course me with my culture shock and my crying. So there are a lot of tough things that we've gone through, but also just laughing and bonding over what's for dinner and movies or Star Wars, and really enjoying setting aside time to have fun too. Has been great to do that with someone. And I lived 30 years on my own, and I always wanted to share my life with someone. So that's been even more of a blessing than I anticipated. But I will also tell you, perfectly honestly, two things that have been a challenge I didn't anticipate. One is that after living alone for all those years, it was an adjustment to have someone in the house all the time. My husband works from home, which is a blessing because we've been able to spend more time together early in our marriage. But and I've told him this, it's not a surprise, but at the beginning, I didn't even know when to call my mom. When do I have time to call my mom or my friends? And also, when do I get that alone time that I used to have whenever I wanted it? Too much of it, of course. And so, funny story, I remember at the beginning, I was kind of lamenting what an adjustment it was to my mother-in-law, and also the fact that the house was a disaster. So we had two homes that we tried to purge and consolidate and fit together. And it was like a slide puzzle for 4 months. I mean, we didn't have the space because I lived in a small house in Jersey and he moved up there. She said to me, well, you can have organization and perfectly neat home, or you can have your husband. It was a great point. Like, I don't want to go back to what I had before when I was single and wishing I was married. So the challenge of just, there's someone here all the time was, I think, not what I expected. And also, I'm not nearly as flexible as I would have thought, right? My stuff in its space and whatever else. So that was an adjustment for me, kind of eye-opening to realize that I actually do like things a certain way. And then the other challenge still, I am a professional communicator, Zach. I am a trained communicator, and somehow it's gotten better, but we can be talking about the same thing we think, and he's got one understanding of it, and I've got a completely different interpretation. So yeah, the communication has been a challenge, but we remind each other we've got the rest of our lives to figure it out, and we embrace that challenge. And so those are two things that I don't think I was expecting, even though people will tell you that men and women don't communicate the same way. Like, I swear, I can say it as plainly as possible, and somehow he comes away with a completely different meaning.
It's just easier the more information that we're given. That's what I'm not going to talk for all men. I'm not going to do that. But I do feel personally, the more information we can have, the better we usually perform with it.
Awesome. Good question, Jeff. Thank you.
Another one, we'll go to Facebook. Where was it? Oh, Jim on Facebook had, who had the biggest effect on your career in radio? Like your radio mentor or some of the broadcasters that you would listen to growing up?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this.
And I'm sorry to add. And
No,
kind
go
of
ahead.
help form your radio style was there at the end.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, this is a challenging one. And it was when I was younger because I did not have a female mentor, right? I had some amazing guides and people who were in my corner and supported me, but it was never a female who was doing radio. So that was one of the challenges. But I had a mentor slash advisor at Syracuse University when I was there. His name was Don. He had worked in the past in, TV networks, I think CNN. He had actually worked on CNN. And he was such an incredible support system to me. I remember I sat down with him the first week I was on campus for my master's degree, and he asked me, "What do you want to do?" And I told him, and he said, "Great, we'll get it done." And he was always such an advocate and believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. So that he's really the first person that was a guide for me. Second, someone that I listen to on a regular basis. This is not political, okay? This is before I even voted or cared about politics much. But Rush Limbaugh was brilliant at his craft. And because he was on so many affiliates, you turn on any radio station in the middays or when I was in my car, when I, again, younger, wasn't even voting yet, but just loved radio. And Rush was everywhere. And the way that he was so bold and he made no apologies. I'll just reiterate, I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. I couldn't have defined Democrat or Republican or what that meant. But his presence on the radio was so effective, and it's why he was brilliant until the point at which he passed away. So I think that too, like having someone to listen to who he just knew what he wanted to say, and he did not apologize for it. As a female, I was more insecure when I was younger in my career. And so that kind of impression that he made on me when I would listen to him was really impactful. And then moving forward, just the last one I'll say, sorry, is when
No, you're fine. I didn't mean to cut you off.
When I left ESPN radio, the reason I did it, this is going back to the end of 2012, is because I had two men who became the best bosses I've ever had, Mark and Eric, and they reached out to me and they asked me, "Hey, are you willing to join a startup network? We really want you to come work for us." At the time, it was CBS Sports Radio. It turned into Infinity Sports Network. And they said to me, and this is after years of trying to fit into a box and trying to be more like the guys. I actually had an old program director at ESPN Radio who said to me, "Hey, you shouldn't laugh or smile on the air because as a female, it takes away from your credibility." I mean, that's the kind of advice I was getting. It was back before bosses or companies were willing to take a chance with a female. Mm-hmm. And Mark and Eric said, "We do not want you to be like one of the guys. We just want you to be Amy." And I can't tell you how much confidence that gave me in 2013, adjusting to New York City. I never wanted to live or work in New York City, but adjusting to an all new challenge, an all new opportunity, an all new place, and picking up and leaving at that stage in my life when I was in my 30s. And they believed in me and gave me great confidence and just loved me for who I was. And I've never had better bosses than that. So those are some of the few that have shaped my journey, my non-linear journey in this business.
I love that. I have one more then that I think we might be able to do another one after that, but I thought this was a good one too. I'm not going to make you pick just one because I know that can be tough, but the question was the nicest player and or coach you've interacted with. And I know there are probably a couple there. I mean, obviously we've both been in this long enough. There's some that aren't necessarily so much, but then there are some that are very nice and very amicable. Yeah.
That are very generous with their time and are willing to spend some time talking to you and kind of open up a little bit. Okay, so the coach / manager, I would say, for those of you who remember David Shaw when he was at Stanford, he was it is David Shaw, right? Shoot, sometimes when I have to pull, when I have to pull names out of a hat.
Before Harbaugh, right?
Yes, right. So David Shaw, so he was a football coach, former Stanford University football coach. Now he's with the Lions. He always treated me with great respect, and I remember one of my very first weekends at CBS Sports Radio. I was scared to death, right? Because this is my first time having my own show nationally with my name on it, kind of a thing. And he agreed to come on and tape an interview. And he, again, treated me with not just with respect, like I didn't have to earn his respect, but he was also a guy who, like, right away, gave me credit where he felt like as a female to step into a space that was kind of uncharted territory. He thought, I mean, he even said, Maya, are you doing this? And this is going to be great. You're going to knock it out of the park. So it was kind of cool. And of course we talked football, but I remember David Shaw, just the feeling that he left me with, that he didn't treat me any differently. And he included me in the club, if you will. That was one coach that I was very grateful to have as a guest and as someone who, I felt like it was a cool name to start out with. Okay. And then here's another one, a player who I've bonded with, and we've done a few interviews over the course of his career. And even as he's looked past football, these are both from football. I could go on and on, like Hall of Famers in basketball. Ann Myers Drysdale, I've worked with her on games. She's an amazing basketball figure, and she's also been so great to come on shows with me, and I worked with her on play-by-play. But then Rodney Peete, who's a running back with the Eagles, he's been very open. Also, we've talked business, which has been kind of fun, and we've encouraged each other. And as I've made moves, he's reached out on social media to say, hey, congratulations. And so that's been a lot of fun too. And I think also Gonzaga basketball, they've been great. Some of the guys that I've talked to there, I've just really enjoyed establishing relationships and networking with people. And I hope that those connections and networks will benefit us here on this show too, as we start to reach out to other guests in the sports industry.
No, absolutely. So I love those as options. I didn't know if you wanted to, we got like 2 minutes till the top of the hour.
So I see on Twitter,
if there's one you have,
at A-Law Radio, Casey writes and says, hey, I was searching for the show on the Apple Podcast, but couldn't find it. Isn't on there yet. Yes. Well, no, the answer is no, it's not on there yet, but we are working on it. And I do appreciate that you actually reached out and asked. And I know some of you have asked with the comments too on YouTube, just because we didn't even realize it was an issue. And so now that we know,
we're fixing it.
We tried to search for it this morning too here in our house. And it actually, we realized that we couldn't get it there either. And so so that's another thing we're working on this first week of working out kinks. Here's one more, and I don't know if you see it on the YouTube comment section over there, but it's from Jesse, going back to about 30 minutes ago or so, and he says, will there be any nerd alerts? Okay, for those of you who know me or have listened to my show in the past, this is how you have to pronounce it. Nerd alert! You've got to yell it. And what it is some quirky stat or some obscure number that really paints a picture. So Jesse, yes, I don't want to bombard Zach with all this different production and stuff, but absolutely. I love being a nerd. Nerds are cool these days. And not only are there analytics nerds, but they're nerds like me who, like, for instance, Star Wars nerd. I love to play Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. I actually asked for that game for my birthday. My husband got it for me. So whatever you're nerdy about, whatever gets you geeked up, whatever gives you a burst of energy. Oh yeah, we love being nerds here together on so I would think that Zach would be a comic book nerd, right? That's you?
That's a very good,
Okay, very cool. So let's be nerds together. Yes, Jesse, thank you for asking. There will in fact be nerd alerts as we get closer to football season, because that's important.
Can I add just one more thing that adds to our conversation from earlier? And I have to thank Bonnie for this, because I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently there's just a website or an app that I could have used the whole time to find the best time to just leave. No?
No, put it back up there so people can see this.
Yeah.
There's an app called Run P, meaning like you put the movie title in it, it tells you the best time to sneak out and go to the bathroom.
I looked this up after she posted it, and what it does is it has like a banner and it gives you marks, and there's like yellow and green and even red. I'm like, oh, you definitely don't want to go here. But like, so I went and I looked, and like one of them, and I don't feel like this is going to be a big spoiler, because I was like, well, what movie did I go see? We were talking about the Odyssey, and it has a green chunk where it's like, oh, this is just a battle. Like it's, you're just going to miss fighting if you go then. And it has like a countdown between the next time you should be able to go.
Well, so funny story. I know we're going a little long, but funny story. When my nieces were young, they desperately wanted me to take them to see Cars in theater. So, this goes back a few years. Well, to this day, because my younger niece, Lauren, was all about her popcorn and soda, and, she was, 5, maybe 4 or 5, and she consumed the soda like it was going out of style. And so just as they're going to the final race in that movie, she has to go to the bathroom. Auntie Amy, please, I have to go pee. I have to go potty. And so I've never seen it. I've actually never seen the final race in Cars. Yeah, because I had to take her. She was 2, and I had to leave my, I think it was 10-year-old niece. And I was like, this was back a few years where maybe it was a little safer, but I said to Deanna, don't move. We'll be right back. And hustled Lauren to the bathroom. But yeah, I've never gone back and seen that final race series from Cars, believe it or not.
Then how do you think Cars ends?
I have no idea, actually.
Okay.
I mean, I saw the end, but I didn't see the race. So we were back in the theater.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of got the end result, but didn't get the means or the meat in the middle. Thank you for your questions. Amazing. Looking forward to establishing Ask Amy Anything in the routine every week. We'll do it on Hump Day, but also because I see this over in our YouTube comments, I'm going to throw this up before we wrap here. Sherry says she's in Fort Worth celebrating her 60th birthday by listening to the show. So happy birthday to you, Sherry. We're big time fans of birthday parties and birthday celebrations in my family. So this is a big milestone. And you know what? It's hard to even survive a year on this planet. So good for you. Congratulations and happy 60th birthday. My mom actually celebrates a milestone this year as well. We'll be celebrating with her with a big kind of family getaway. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. So good to talk to you on this Hump Day. We're working our way through it. Thanks for joining us all in with Amy Lawrence here on YouTube and Rogue Media Network.